Hi, happy you're here. Get comfy and let's get started. Sit at My Grave, Season 2, Chapter 9. Ardyn, with unsettled hands, managed to get his book out. Almost immediately, the pages began flipping with strong winds. Ardyn shuddered, his hands tensing and his grip faltering, but he gritted his teeth and kept firm. He had a job to do. It stopped on a blank page. Ardyn frowned, staring down at it. Everything was so cryptic. What did it mean? Slowly, like a pen to paper, an image was formed on the page. Ardyn tensed as he watched it, his breath hitching as he stared down. It depicted an area, an opening among trees. It looked like people lying all around. There was something standing above it all, similar to a statue. The scene was so clear yet so vague. What? Ardyn silently questioned. He paused, standing there in the dark silence. Pressure to question further rose in his throat, but he couldn't get the words out. The air was strange and eerie. He felt a strong presence around him. Yet, just like before, he saw nothing. But his nerves swore that if he gazed around the dark long enough, he would see something looming over, staring at him. Ardyn's head began aching along with his chest. The words speaking to him became jumbled once again. He frowned as he swallowed stiffly. He was here willing to do whatever it took. He said it and meant it. So, he questioned why. Why it had to be so difficult. Why information was being hidden. If he could have found the strength and courage, he would have asked, but his voice was silenced. He stayed for a while longer, hoping for more, but still nothing. After doing his best to calm down from it all, Ardyn's eyes fell on his brother's gravestone. Staring down at it put a pit in his stomach. Slowly, Ardyn sunk down to his level, shoving his book and backpack aside. This was the reason for it all. "Hi, Reed." His voice came out small and unsure. If he'd seen anyone else talking to a headstone in the past, he'd probably think they were dumb. This wasn't how you communicated with the dead, but he was desperate. Everyone spoke about his brother, everything he used to do, what he meant to them. He hadn't engaged in it that much, but Reed was on his mind. He longed to talk to him, even if just for a couple of minutes, either to figure out where everything went wrong, or just to goof off like they used to. "I miss you," Ardyn struggled out. He placed his hand on the gravestone. "Everyone does. I'm keeping things, well, I'm trying to keep things together, but it's not easy," Ardyn spoke. "I got beat up. I should have told you in the club in the first place. It was my own pride. You would have helped me, just like always," he rambled. Ardyn wanted to stay, but it just hurt speaking out words into a void. Before he left, he leaned in, gently wrapping his arms around the cold headstone, hugging it close. Ardyn walked back up to his grandmother's porch, using his key to get inside the house. After spending time at the gravesite, he hated to admit he was just as lost as when he began. He hated the feeling of helplessness, but that was all he seemed to have these days. Feeling hopeless and the bitter weight of grieving his brother, or rather distracting himself from diving to that dark place. He wanted to believe he was fixing things, but it was hard. He was tired, his body ached, and right then he just wanted to sleep, if he even had enough peace in his head to do so. Ardyn's shoes barely made it over the threshold to the living room when his phone rang. Renly was calling him. She turned around at that moment, shutting her phone off. "Hi, Mom," Ardyn began saying, but Renly interrupted him. "It's past dinner time. Where were you?" she questioned, sounding frustrated. "I was traveling around," Ardyn lamely answered. "Ardyn?" Renly paused, taking a deep breath before speaking again. "You need to be more mindful telling me where you are," she reminded him, her voice strained. She was doing her best to urge the importance of it all she could without really yelling at him, because again, she wasn't angry, but this was getting tiresome. Ardyn didn't want to have this discussion. He was worn out, and his head was still aching, but from the look on his mom's face, and his grandma sitting on the couch, he knew he wasn't getting out of it that easily again.